Hey, it's Tom from Fetch Hive, and today we're looking at some brand new features in Fetch Hive. Now, we're looking at two key features. This will be the brand new models from OpenAI, and it will also be the ability to incorporate image URLs with your prompts in both prompts and also workflows in the Fetch Hive dashboard. Now, in terms of the models, this will be the brand new 4.1 models. So this will be 4.1, 4.1 mini, and 4.1 nano. I don't know why they're going smaller and smaller, but it is what it is, right? And additionally, we'll also be looking at the brand, not brand new, I say brand new, but it's not brand new for everybody else, but it is brand new for Fairchild. The reasoning model. So we'll be looking at the O4 mini, the O4, the O3, the O1. Every reasoning model which is now available in OpenAI would now be available in Fetch Hive for you to use straight away. So let's get started. So to get started using the 4.1 and the reasoning models for OpenAI in Fetch Hive, we can go to our prompt dashboard initially. We'll create a new prompt. We'll call this the 4.1 prompt. Create prompt. Then from here, we can then go to our drop down and then we can see a list of models available to us in the Fetch Hive dashboard. Now we can see we have 4.1, 4.1 mini, 4.1 nano, all of the previous old versions. And also now we have the O4 mini, O3, O3 mini, O1, and O1 Pro. Now, I would say a few things about this, that the O3 Mini and the O4 Mini has the exact same pricing. I would obviously always advise you to use the actual O4 Mini because it's a newer model. Therefore, it's supposed to have a better quality of response. I would highly advise against using the O1 Pro unless you really need to use it. The reason why is because it's very, very expensive. I haven't tried it myself, but as you can see here, the input price is $150. The output price is $600. So if you think you should use it, then use it. If you don't need to use it, then I would just avoid it for now. Um, but I have added that in case somebody out there actually wants to use it for their own project. It's available, ready to go. Once we're happy with our model, we can then proceed with our prompt. So I'm just going to choose a 4.1 mini for now. I don't want to spend too much money on prompting for this example. Um, you add our system message. Okay. And then we're going to add in our user message. Describe the following topic in 50 words. Okay, cool. And then we're gonna add the input. So we're gonna say, show the cameras. Okay, there we go. Nice. Then we'll run this with our 4.1 mini. And we can see it's replied very quickly. It's a mini version of the model, so it's gonna be very quick, very performant compared to say the 4.1 or the 4.1 nano. I mean, even the nano is gonna be quick as well, right? But as you can see, it's returning pretty decent content as is for now. We can also switch out for other reasoning models. So this would be the O1, the O3, or the O4. Um, and we can look back at our activity log so we can see it's now logging these requests with the brand new model. Perfect. We can see how much it's going to charge. in terms of the tokens, the input tokens, and the output tokens. And additionally, with this brand new update, we now track cache tokens. So caching usually is automatic with OpenAI. With a topic, it's usually you have to determine or you have to specify caching, but with OpenAI, it's just automatic. So the rule is if you're over 1,000 tokens for the input, it will cache it the next time, as long as the cache is within, I think, 5 or 10 minutes. Additionally, we also now track input audio tokens, output audio tokens, and we also now track reasoning tokens. So whenever you do use an O model, so O3, O1, or O4, we will be able to see within this dashboard how many tokens you used for the reasoning. The next feature we're looking at will be the ability to add image URLs to your prompt messages using the vision models provided by OpenAI to understand images when you create your prompts. To do this, we will go back to our prompting area. We'll create a new prompt and we'll call it the image master prompt. Now, just to confirm, this is available in both prompts in Fetch Hive and also available in the workflows in Fetch Hive too. But for now, we'll be explaining this feature in the prompting area. Now, before we specify or set our image URL for our prompt message, we need to first set the AI model we can actually use for this prompt. Now, not every model can accept an image URL. Not every model can accept an image URL and then understand what's actually in that image. Only some models can do it. And these models are usually tagged as vision models. And there's only a certain specified set of models in OpenAI which can accept this kind of behavior. So if we go to the model dropdown in Fetch Hive, we can quite clearly see there are some models here which have a vision model tag. Now, these models can accept an image URL. They can basically, you can send an image URL to that model. It will open up the image. It will understand the image. And then if you have any questions within your prompt about that image, it can answer it. But if you select a model which is not supported in this model list, they will basically apply, I know what you're talking about. I don't understand the image. So in this example, we will be using the 4.1. Once we're happy with our model, we will then want to set a system message, as we do with every prompt. System message is very, very important. But I'm going to keep it very, very simple for now. Helpful system. And then we are going to want to take our image. Now, our image is basically going to be my watch. I have a little watch here. Put in the video, little watch. So I'm going to put this image of this watch into our prompt, and we're going to see what's going to come back. So we're going to add in a user message. Then we're going to say something very simple. Describe the image. Now, we could put something in a lot more detail. We can say, like, make sure you describe the foreground of the image, make sure you describe the subject of the image, don't describe the background. There's a lot you can do with this kind of functionality, but for now, we're going to keep it simple. But I would say if you are going to create your own prompt, be a bit more descriptive and also be a bit more precise as to what you actually want to grab from the image. But for now, I want to say describe the image. And then when we want to actually add in an image URL for our prompt message, we can just click the little image URL icon here. Add image URL. Now, this section here can either take a static URL And for this example, we'll be adding a static URL, but it can also accept dynamic. So it can accept inputs. So this could be inputs for the prompt we have here. And these inputs you could specify when you create the API endpoint. So whenever you publish this prompt and then you trigger the API endpoint, you can specify the URL there, and it will take it in and it will put it into this image URL for this prompt message. If you're using a workflow, you can additionally set it within the workflow itself. So say, for example, you find an image in your workflow steps and you want to then use that image URL in a subsequent step after that, you can do that too. Anything when it comes to variables or static or dynamic data, you can use any image URLs as you please. But for now, we'll be just adding our own static URL, which is the watch I described before. So I'll put this in there. We can see I've already uploaded it to somewhere. But again, it's static. If you want to add in your own custom URL, so for example, I have the static one here. If I want to say, image URL and then put the inputs in here, then paste in the URL here. It means whenever I want to run this image URL, this prompt, and then I can just pass the image URL as a property for the inputs into the API endpoint, and it will run for any image you want. It doesn't need to be this one image, it could be any image you want. So for this example, we'll run it as is. We're going to close the sheet. Then we're going to run, and it should give us a response. And there we have it. It's basically taken the image from the image URL variable, and this is the image of my watch that I started to see before. It was here. And it's basically described the image to us via the prompt. So you basically combine a media format, which is an image, and you combine a prompt into one request, and you've created a response on there. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, great, that's cool, but how is it useful towards me? How can I apply this in a real world setting? Well, there are a few ideas. For me personally, anyway, I think it's great when it comes to taking a screenshot of a website and you can ask it to describe what the website's about, the branding, the colors, the hex colors, for example, the fonts they're using. Another example is where you could take a picture of some object you have, like your phone, for example. Then you could describe it and say, hey, what kind of like brand of phone this is. There are so many ways you can actually use this, but I would say it's very particular in terms of usage, but it does allow you to combine the ability to have an image format and a prompting in a single request, which A, saves you time, and B, saves you money. But I'm also quite excited to see what you create out of this. How would you find this useful for yourself in your business or your home? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'm always here to help you. If you have any questions about AI, have any questions about Fetch Hive, please let me know. I'm always there to answer them for you. And I will see you in the next one.